Happy to announce that the Board of Trustees would like to bestow a third Distinguished Service Award to SAIS President Dr. Kirk Walker. Stay there, stay there. Unbeknownst to Kirk, his wife Patsy and daughter Caroline are here to join with us today in recognizing his leadership and his service to SIS. Welcome to Patsy and to Caroline. For the past 4 years, Kirk has served as the president of SIS, and he has done so with his characteristic qualities of kindness, empathy, decency, professionalism, an unwavering commitment to the highest standards of excellence. Before beginning this particular chapter of his storied career, it's worth noting that Kirk was born and raised in Chattanooga, Tennessee, that he graduated as valedictorian from Macaulay and then as a Moorhead Scholar from the University of North Carolina, that he began a lifelong commitment to schools shortly thereafter, ultimately leading 3 as head of school, the Bright School in Chattanooga, Innsworth in Nashville, and his alma mater, Macaulay in Chattanooga. Along the way, Kirk earned an MS in English education and his PhD in curriculum development at Vanderbilt University's Peabody College. Additionally, Kirk served as board chair for the Tennessee Association of Independent Schools and the Southern Association of Independent Schools. Over the course of his career, he has participated on 12 SAIS accreditation teams as a member or chair. Since taking the helm as president of SAIS 4 years ago, Kirk has provided outstanding leadership. He created the governance survey, which has now been administered to 58 schools in our membership. Incredibly, he has conducted 250 in-person school visits and led 53 governance workshops. 34 schools have joined SAIS on Kirk's watch. Our long-term reserves have increased by $545,000 during his tenure. Kirk has a genuine and deeply felt affinity for smaller schools that advance their mission with precious few resources. As SAIS president, he created a scholarship program that has allowed 91 individuals from 41 schools to take advantage of our professional development offerings. He's overseen a collaboration grant process that has awarded over $100,000 to 22 schools over a 4-year period. Professional development continues to be a shining star within the orbit of the SAIS mission. The staff has launched the publication of a twice-yearly magazine, has started a number of outstanding new professional development programs, including the Athletic Directors Conference, the Dean of Students Symposium, the Division Heads Conference, and the Institute for New Teachers, public to private. 2 more will debut in 2019, the Academic Support Conference and the Independent School Counselors Conference. On Kirk's watch, we have implemented virtual accreditation workshops, review team meetings, and chair training. So as you can tell, the list of accomplishments as president for Kirk is long and substantive. But I wouldn't want to overlook what matters even more, the fact that Kirk is an educator and a man whom we all admire. His letters to the membership are a reminder of the values and ideals that anchor our work in a world of conflict and division. He's a model for us, a confidant when we need an open mind and a generous heart. He cares most of all about children and the relationships that adults have with each other that make the lives of children better, so that education can remain the engine of social, economic, and moral progress in our region, the nation, and the world. And finally, of course, Kirk would want me to thank Patsy, who has shared her husband with us and with the school communities he has served. A day like today is obviously a family achievement, and we're delighted to have Patsy and Caroline with us today as we present Kirk Walker with the SAIS Distinguished Service Award.
Well, thank you all. That was great. That was unexpected and very special. It's a beautiful day in the neighborhood. And I'm really glad that you all are here, and I'm very appreciative for the award and for the tribute. SAIS has been, for years for me, probably, well, it's been very important. It's been probably the one over a period of now almost 2 decades that I've always been engaged with. And I hope many of you will follow that same path. I am glad that you all are here today. I do thank you for joining us, as Byron said yesterday, for our first athletic conference outside of Atlanta, our annual conference. I don't know where this is going, I'm not sure. But it is a historic moment in a very historic city. Home to a lot of remarkable people. You know, you probably know this: signers of the Declaration of Independence and the Constitution, Supreme Court justices, Vice President of the United States, and of course Stephen Colbert, Darius Rucker, and Bill Murray. It's a city, it seems to me, when I think about it, that's witnessed both great and tragic moments, a city that survived economic boom and depressions. It's witnessed the best and the worst of human behavior, but it's persevered, and it never lost its charm or identity. I think that's kind of a lesson for all of us. As I look around this room at colleagues and friends, I think it's reasonable to say that everyone here has been blessed in many ways. I know that I have, and I have another one to add to the list today. Since joining SAIS, I've been blessed by the joy of working with a dedicated, talented staff who are constantly looking for new ways to serve your schools and better ways to do it. And I'd like those that are in the room right now to please stand and receive our thanks for all of their work. I've been blessed by the privilege to partner with trustees who understand good governance and model it. And I'd like to ask all the current SAIS trustees and all previous SAIS trustees that are here to please stand and receive our thanks as well. I have been blessed by the chance to stay connected with educators who've been an important part of my life for decades, one of whom is a Charleston resident who's here with me today. While many of you know him as I do, as a friend, a role model, and a mentor, I also know him as my 8th grade algebra teacher. Thank you, Gordon Bondurant, for being here and for all that you've done for education. And I have been blessed by the opportunity to visit in so many of your schools. As it said, 250, but who's counting? You've welcomed me, you've shared your dreams, an occasional nightmare. The range in your missions, markets, demographics, facilities, programs, and resources is dramatic. But what binds you all together is a common concern for students, an emphasis on learning, and an attention to character development. Seeing those 3 elements manifested in so many different settings has reinforced my belief that our students, our families, our nation, our world need our schools. As I have said before, in a world that can feel full of fear, you provide a sense of security. In a society that can feel aimless, you offer direction. And in a nation that can feel broken, you encourage healing. I'll not ask all of you to stand, but I will applaud you. Thank you. We all share the gift of working in education. And whatever your role, you do have the chance to inspire, to encourage, to nurture, to change lives. I know of no other profession more engaged in shaping the future. It is also a constantly renewing profession, an evolving process where people, students, and adults arrive, enrich our schools and our lives, and then graduate or some variation of that. Today, I'd like to recognize some of the newer arrivals to our SAIS family, the first-time head of schools who are with us today. So as I call your names, would you please stand? We'll applaud, I guess, at the end. Penny Barker, Meade Hall Episcopal School. Jeremy Blackstock, First Baptist School. Robert Blackwell, Woodlawn School. Lawrence Coco, Jackson Preparatory School. Chris Durst, Altamont School. Judith Foley Arnstein, Charleston Day School. Kent Harrison, Christian Heritage School. Tyler Hodges, Bowles School. Glenn Martin, Northlake Christian School. Jack Milne, Jackson Academy. Beth Knoll, Lerner Jewish Community Day School. Welcome to all of you. We hope that your time as head will be fulfilling. We know that some days it will be uplifting and joyful, some days it will be frustrating, and some days it may even be troubling and sad. Please know that you are surrounded by friends in this room, friends who do understand those days and want you to succeed. Despite what Sandra said, it can be occasionally lonely work, so I want you to take advantage of this network. It's an obvious statement that the demands on school are great and growing greater. As tuitions rise, so do student and parent expectations, and the demands on administrators do seem to grow exponentially. At various times, you are called upon, as you well know, to be firefighters, cheerleaders, budget balancers, landscapers, grief counselors, innovators, mediators, marketeers, and legal acrobats. The demands of the moment invariably command your attention. But beyond the moment, you are called to be a financial forecaster, a strategic planner, and a successful fundraiser. And you do all this in an atmosphere that has changed dramatically in the last 10 years. The number of good enough options has expanded: charters, homeschools, hybrids, online. Parents are more inclined to utilize good enough until it is no longer good enough. And only then do they decide to apply to your schools. And those that do require or often just expect tuition discounts. Despite those challenges, I am very optimistic about the future of our schools. In my journeys, I have seen clear evidence of schools looking beyond the present and preparing themselves to be healthy and sustainable in the future. I have seen schools, well-resourced or not, who actively discuss size and its relation to long-term costs and are developing financial models and plans that account for the vacillations of the economy. I have seen boards of trustees not only recognize that they need to have a fuller understanding of good governance practices now, but also recognize that they have a responsibility to put structures in place that will ensure a healthy and knowledgeable board years from now. I have seen schools honestly read their mission statements, finally, and then look inward to determine what the words mean and how they are infused or not in every aspect of their program. They are doing the hard work of rediscovering who they are rather than just what they have and what they want. And I have seen schools focus more intentionally on culture and community. Schools that recognize that their greatest assets are not tangible, but the culture that bonds the community together: parents, students, faculty, staff. They recognize that schools are learning communities and that they work better when they are learning to be better communities. Yes, I am very optimistic about the future of our schools. They are filled with talent and heart and direction, a winning combination. So, to all of you who are part of education's future and a part of the future of SAIS, the best is yet to come. Thank you.